Right now, somewhere in the world, a man is lying awake in a life that should feel fine. His bills are paid, his job is stable, his room is quiet, nothing dramatic is wrong, and yet he cannot settle. He checks his phone, puts it down, picks it up again. He walks to the kitchen, comes back, opens a window, closes it. He tells himself he should be grateful, but the restlessness stays. This is not a mood. This is not ingratitude. This is the design. Arthur Schopenhauer believed that for certain minds, comfort was never going to save them. Not because they are special, not because they are superior, because once a mind becomes too awake, comfort stops feeling like rescue and starts feeling like sedation. Life, he said, swings between two poles, pain and boredom. Pain when we do not get what we want. Boredom when we finally get enough and discover that enough still cannot quiet us. This is where the confusion begins. Most people think suffering must come from obvious damage, hunger, rejection, illness, betrayal. Schopenhauer was interested in something colder than that. The suffering that begins after the visible problems have already been solved. The suffering of the person who gets the free evening, the stable routine, the quiet apartment, and still cannot rest. How many people spend all week waiting for the weekend, only to feel trapped by it by Saturday afternoon? How many people pray for free time, then fill it with noise within minutes? How many people build a life that looks calm from the outside and still cannot sit inside it for long? That is the trap. Not that life is terrible, that life can become comfortable and still feel unlivable. Sometimes the prison improves, and it is still a prison, because comfort was never built to save you. Most people think boredom means there is nothing to do. Schopenhauer thought that was childish. Boredom is what happens when the world stops pressing on you and you are handed back to yourself. Pain says, something is missing. Boredom says, nothing is missing, and still this is not enough. That is why boredom humiliates. Pain lets you blame circumstances. Boredom points inward. It suggests that even after life has made room for you, you still cannot live in the room, and that is why people fear silence more than struggle. Struggle at least gives the mind an enemy. Silence gives it a mirror. Now here is where it becomes dangerous. Intelligence does not guarantee depth. It does not guarantee peace. It does not even guarantee insight, but it does make one thing harder: sedation. The more awake a mind becomes, the less easily it can be pacified by ordinary consolations. Not because it is nobler, because it notices too much. It sees repetition faster. It feels the thinness of certain pleasures sooner. It watches success turn ordinary almost immediately. It sees how quickly excitement decays into habit. And once that happens, the old comforts stop working with the same force. The intelligent mind is not automatically deeper. It is just harder to sedate. And that is not always a gift, because once cheap distraction stops working, you are left facing whatever your inner life actually is. And if that inner life is underbuilt, restless, hungry, unformed, then comfort becomes unbearable. Again, comfort was never built to save you. This was Schopenhauer's central idea. Beneath all your separate desires lies something deeper. The will, blind, restless, always reaching, always wanting, never satisfied for long. That is why the cycle repeats. You want the job, you get it. The feeling fades. You want the relationship, you get it. The mystery fades. You want the free day, you get it. The free day becomes oppressive. You want peace. What you get is another object to chase. The will does not permit arrival. It permits transitions between one hunger and the next. And once a person sees this clearly, life becomes stranger. The pleasures do not merely fail. Their failure becomes visible as a system. Not peace, motion, not fulfillment, motion, not rescue, motion. The machine survives by keeping you in motion. And the moment motion stops, you feel the bars. Now you understand why your distractions decay so quickly. You scroll, you text, you order food, you make plans, you open another tab. You call this relaxing. Schopenhauer would say you are fleeing, Because the problem is not a lack of stimulation. The problem is that stimulation works for 5 minutes and solves nothing. It covers the unrest, then hands it back unchanged. That is why a free day can feel heavier than a work day. Work occupies the mind, silence returns it. And what does silence return you to? That is the real question. Not whether your life is comfortable, whether your inner life is strong enough to survive comfort. Because if it is not, then every quiet room becomes an accusation. Schopenhauer was bleak, but not entirely hopeless. He believed there were rare moments when the will loosens its grip. Not through success, not through romance, not through more comfort, through contemplation, through music, through art, through serious thought, through those rare experiences in which you stop chasing and simply attend. But these are not hobbies. They are the rare moments when the machine forgets to own you. A piece of music that quiets the hunger instead of feeding it. A book that absorbs you so fully the self stops grasping for a while. A work of art, a landscape, a thought followed deeply enough inward that desire briefly loses its command. These moments do not destroy the prison, but they reveal a gap in the bars. They prove that your life does not have to be lived entirely under the rule of appetite, distraction, and the next thing. So if you have been wondering why you feel restless even when life is fine, Schopenhauer would tell you something most people never want to hear. Your suffering is not necessarily proof that your life is wrong. It may be proof that comfort was never going to save you. But be careful. This does not automatically make you profound. Some people are not restless because they are deep. They are restless because they are addicted to stimulation and frightened of stillness. Some are not seeing through life. They are merely unable to sit quietly inside it. That is the real test. Because Schopenhauer would not ask how comfortable your life looks from the outside. He would ask what remains of you when there is nothing left to chase. And if you cannot live with yourself when there is nothing left to chase, then restlessness is not the problem. It is the warning.